we see patients with refractory epilepsy. They're on 4 or 5 different drugs. So do you think AI can help in selecting the drug or pointing in the right direction? And what about the new drug discovery? Because I'm sure we need more medication, different class of medications to control seizures.
Very valid points, because we already mentioned that 30% of epilepsy patients have developed refractory epilepsy. And can we develop more powerful compounds and drugs that can help epilepsy? And although we don't have specific AI-driven platforms for drug discovery for epilepsy, we do have some platforms that are utilized in other areas of medicine to develop designer drugs, if you wish. Go through different compounds, thousands of those, and identify some properties that might be appropriate to treat epilepsy based on the underlying mechanism, like neurotransmitters that need to be higher or lower in order to control seizures. So yes, there are some AI platforms that have been successfully utilized in cancer drug development, and I think that they will be utilized very soon for medications that are more effective with less side effects in epilepsy patients. So I strongly believe that this is where research is going. And not only will be able to identify different effective drugs, but they may make the trial period shorter. As opposed to I fail, I try the second one, the third one, the 10th one. I think that it's going to be more targeted research using AI, which is going to be so important for patients. Also, another hope I have is how we can develop precision medicine for our epilepsy patients. We have effective drugs, but are those effective for this particular individual? And there are some models in development where you put clinical and genetic data and seizure semiology, trying to identify which drugs are effective for this particular patient profile. Therefore, I'm very hopeful that we are going to move into precision medicine for epilepsy patients using algorithms that can identify patterns based on demographic, clinical, electrographic, and imaging data, which is very difficult to accomplish if you have a physician who needs to go through this data.
Right.
You cannot
Right.
find patterns on a larger scale.
Especially the genetic information.
Oh,
Like
yes.
it's very complex. How can you incorporate in your decision making about what drug
The
to
whole
select?
genome. Wow, that would be really hard. And so much of what you treat and what we treat too, I'm thinking of post-traumatic headaches, it's a lot of trial and error with these drugs. And it takes a lot of time. Patients have side effects and are frustrated before we can find the right thing that works for them. And anything we can do to sort of speed up that process and get to an answer that will work for them more quickly is something that we can be doing to serve them in such a huge way.
And one point that I would like to add is, do we have medications that we never thought that would work for epilepsy? And AI algorithms can repurpose medications that are used for other conditions to be utilized in epilepsy.
Oh, wow.
field. So we find some value in repurposing already existing compounds or drugs. In medicine, we approve a medication for a certain condition, but then we find that this medication can be effective for another medical condition, but it takes years of using a medication to come up with a different indication. Can AI go through a number of existing compounds or drugs that have been approved for condition A and repurpose it for epilepsy. So that's another thing that I would like to see in the near future.